I dare you to immerse yourself in this moment. No phone, just you and your thoughts. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? The sheer weight of unoccupied time pressing down on you, urging you to reach for any escape. This moment marks the beginning of our exploration into the world of dopamine detoxes, a challenge to our hyper-connected world. What if there's more beneath the surface of this movement? A vital insight that could revolutionize your relationship with technology and productivity. Deeper into the dopamine detox movement, we uncover a narrative far different from what is usually shared. It's not solely about turning off your notification or stepping away from social media. Beyond it lies the lost art of embracing boredom. In a space of apparent emptiness, we find the key to unlock unbelievable length in personal growth, creativity, and productivity. Here, in this silence we often avoid, lies the antidote to our endless procrastination. Moments of boredom, of unoccupied time, are not only natural but necessary. Are we really losing something precious by obsessing over constant stimulation? And what has this dopamine detox movement to do with it? Dopamine, often called the feel-good molecule, plays a critical role in how we experience pleasure and reward. Every time you receive a like, you check an item off your to-do list, or indulge in your favorite snack, dopamine surges through your brain, encouraging these behaviors. Yet our digital world often leads to an overload of these dopamine waves. Much like a wave pool, when there's too many large waves, it can deplete the water level, aka your baseline of happiness. This constant chase after high-stimulating activities, like endless scrolling on social media and binge watching, makes it difficult for us to generate new waves, ultimately leading us to feeling exhausted and unsatisfied. Naturally, when you're in this state, is to increase your dopamine levels as quickly as possible to get it back to where it was. That's when we turn yet again to these high-stimulating activities that only end up depleting us even further. Ultimately, this seek for short-term pleasures takes away our ability to enjoy more meaningful and simple experiences in life, fueling our procrastination and creates a sense of emptiness. If this scenario feels all too familiar, know that there's nothing wrong with you and you're definitely not alone. It's a sign that your dopamine system is overwhelmed, leaving you to chase more to feel less. Good news, a dopamine detox turns out to help reset this balance. It might seem counterintuitive and even strange, but by reducing these high-stimulating activities, we will allow our water level to get back to its natural state, resparking our appreciation of these smaller waves in our everyday life. Rather than depleting our pool with inconsistent big waves, a dopamine detox encourages these smaller, more sustainable waves. And the key here is sustainable. Great news for people like you and I, because I am definitely not playing holy here. I do struggle with this myself, but by following the steps I will share later on, I have been able to fight back this depletion of my water levels. We will end up challenging our brains to find joy and fulfillment in these less stimulating activities, making us more resilient in the future against this lure of instant gratification. Truly, I believe that dopamine detoxes is more than just a passing trend. Yet, I have noticed that it's often surrounded by misconceptions that cloud its genuine benefits. Think you have nailed down what a dopamine detox is? I was surely pleasantly surprised when I dove deeper into this topic. Many misconceptions end up confusing a lot of people and they never end up giving it a try, myself included. It wasn't until I discovered what I am about to share with you that it all changed for me. First thing I want to address is the misconception that a dopamine detox means cutting out all digital activity. In reality, the essence of a dopamine detox isn't to cut out all digital activity, but to be more mindful about our consumption. When I understood this, I began to open my mind a little more to this concept. It became a much more doable and achievable goal in my mind. As I do, I got curious to know if there actually was any scientifically backed evidence proving this. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that by decreasing our digital activity, we could also decrease our compulsive behaviors, which previously caused me to give in to the temptation of snacking and procrastination. Another belief I had was that a dopamine detox was super dreadful and I wouldn't have any fun doing it. That turned out to be far from the truth. And dopamine detoxes can actually have the opposite effect, allowing for a reset which enhances our ability to appreciate more simpler things in life, meaning that feeling good would over time become more accessible and require less of you. But was that actually the truth? I needed some more confirmation, and that was when I stumbled upon an article in Psychology Today, reaffirming that a overstimulation of dopamine pathways can dull our sensitivity to everyday rewards, indicating that a reduction in your use can restore your ability to find joy in non-digital activities, enhancing your life satisfaction. One-time solution has always seemed to resonate with me, persuading me into believing that by doing this simple little thing, all my problems would be gone. Yeah, life would be boring, but at least I had to worry about less. That's just some of the thoughts I get, trying to convince me to buy into these quick fixes, which leads me on to the third misconception. It will be a one-time solution. That's never been the case with anything on this planet. There's no quick fixes, including a dopamine detox. It's not a one-off event, but rather a starting point for you to cultivate lasting change in how you interact with this digital world. Studies, funny enough, supports this yet again, showing that implementing regular periods of reduced screen time improve focus and reduce anxiety, indicating the long-term benefits of an ongoing dopamine regulation practice, not one-time fixes all practices. I promise you, I only got one more misconception. You might feel like it's not really necessary for you to do a dopamine detox, even though that's a bit weird considering the benefits I have laid out for you. Well, I'm just as weird as you, and sometimes our brain works in mysterious ways. We can't really see that we might have a slight problem when Margaret over there is 10 times worse than us. So she should be the one reconsidering her screen time use, and not me. Well, the truth of the matter is that her life does matter. Or, I mean, of course it does. But I meant that you shouldn't compare your life to others. Instead, focus on what you can do better, even if it's just a slight adjustment, which is the last myth I want to touch on. It's not only for people with severe screen addictions. A dopamine detox can actually benefit a wide range of people. Really anyone feeling a bit overwhelmed by the external stimulation of our modern world, not just those with severe issues. To that, I have some great news. A broad range of studies supports the idea that even just moderate adjustments in your digital use can have significant improvement on your well-being. So you don't have to turn your world upside down and change your whole daily routine, because I know that that can be a lot. Small changes is enough to get the benefits, making it a valuable tool for anyone using a phone and looking to enhance their quality of life. This movement is really here to challenge us to examine our habits, making intentional choices, and ultimately find a more satisfying way to navigate this digital world. Now, knowing all of these benefits of a dopamine detox, it's easy to get all excited about trying it out. But like I established in the opening scene, detoxing can come with its side effects. It takes some getting used to it, like anything new in life. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It simply might just create some temporary moments of discomfort. So that's why I would like to share some simple and actionable ways you can better manage this discomfort. First up, we won't come far without a clear plan that we can stick to. That's why starting small is key. Dedicate specific times of the day or the week that are non-digital. Whether it's doing meals right before bed or the first hour after waking up, use this time to familiarize yourself with disconnecting from all your devices. As you grow more comfortable with these periods without your devices, gradually try to extend them. The goal here is to find a balance that allows you to benefit from technology without being its slave. Once you have established a schedule, you can now turn these non-digital times into good use. With the following that will help you handle this new foreign way of acting. You can use it to intentionally set aside some time to be bored. Ew. I know, boredom isn't really anyone's friend at the moment. It can be an uncomfortable, restless feeling, where you might feel like you're losing your mind and going absolutely crazy. Sadly, that's how boredom is viewed nowadays, but I think it's time to give it a new ring to it. Shameless plug here, I have created a whole video redefining the meaning of boredom. It was a really eye-opening video for me to make. I'm gonna leave it in the card and the description. One conclusion I came to was that boredom really increases our creativity. So try to channel this restlessness into a creative outlet. Try drawing, writing, a new instrument, or other activities that stimulate your brain in another way. It has never hurt anyone to try something different. Quite the opposite. I have another idea. Why not try to engage in mindfulness, meditation, or yoga? It has enhancing effects on our ability to be present and will reduce your impulse to seek out constant stimulation. We want to build ourselves up here, making it more appealing and easier to keep this new habit going. Wow, James Clear would be very proud of us right now. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, he has written the book Atomic Habits, a must-read in my opinion if you're interested in changing or starting a new habit of all sorts. I know that yoga and meditation is not everyone's cup of tea. I had personally a lot of resentment to try it out. I wasn't convinced at all that it would help me out, but I was surely humbled once I decided to put aside my ego. Look at me now, I am advocating for the thing itself. Just trying to encourage you from time to time to dismiss that thought and give it a try anyways. You might end up being pleasantly surprised. Regardless if you're into all of that, there is other ways you can use this non-digital time. Spending it in nature is a good alternative. The natural environment stimulates our senses in a more gentle and natural way, promoting a state of mindfulness and these sustainable waves we talked about earlier. Another thing I know we humans love is to be with other humans. Make a conscious decision to spend more time undistracted with your friends or family. Put that effort into strengthening your relationships, because we can actually increase our well-being, and in the long term we can actually extend our short time here. Another fun thing you could do is seriously one of my favorites, just perfect for an introvert like me, and that is exploring new hobbies and activities. Whether it's a sport, a art, or a class, these activities can provide fulfillment and joy without the need of digital stimulation. For me personally, I leave to go off to a different universe where everything just flows smoothly, and I leave behind my thoughts that normally drag me down. I have one last one before I let you go. Keep a journal. Some love it, some hate it, and some are like me, flowing in between the two. Sometimes I have a lot of feelings and thoughts I just want to get down on paper, and other times I can feel almost like an anger exploding through my body by the thought of having to sit down and write something down on paper. A love-hate relationship, you could argue. Annoyingly, every time I do sit down to journal, I either have an enlightenment or I just feel so much lighter and better afterwards. So give it a try. It's always fun to look back on your past self and cringe a little of how you was back then. You might have gotten an impression that I have got this whole thing nailed down, that I'm pretty good at handling a dopamine detox, mostly following my own genius advice. Well, you can be the judge of that in my new video, where I take you along one of my detoxes and show you how it can be done, or how it might not be done. I don't know. You be the judge of that. Well, if you don't care, there's one extremely important aspect I couldn't fit into this video. One thing that without it, it can be the detrimental factor to your failure. We can have as many strategies and methods like a dopamine detox to help reduce our screen times, but they fail to work if we don't change our thoughts. So this video will have all you need to know to be able to change that mindset finally.